When I'm the king of the universe, I'm going to make sure every organization has a database where everyone in the organization can access page 6 of everyone else. So if I'm going to call Laura and have a conversation with her, before I pick up the phone, I'm going to go to the database and see this page because it tells me what her style is, and it tells me what motivates her, and it tells me what stresses her. The reason why page 6 is so important is because if I know what motivates you, I'm going to do everything I can to use those motivators to get the most out of you. If you know what motivates me, if you know that giving me a chance to stand up in front of people motivates me, then you're going to do those things that get me to be excited about what I'm doing. If I know that getting up in front of people is not a motivator for you, I'm certainly not going to ask you to do that. So knowing our motivators is crucial, but even more crucial is knowing our stressors. Because when we feel stressed, something happens inside the brain, and this is so crucial. This is one of those, you must take this away. When we are in a normal situation where we're learning, we're using what we call the cerebral cortex. It's the complex part of our brain that we use to learn things. However, when we feel startled, when we feel frightened, when we feel like our life is in danger, we leave that logical part of our brain and we go down into the lower part of the brain, called the lizard part of the brain, because it's the part we share with lizards. We go into fight or flight. The reason why we go into fight or flight is if we remain in the logical part of the brain, by the time we figure out that there's danger and how to get out of the danger, we'll be dead. And fight or flight says, okay, I'm using the lizard part of the brain, and the lizard part of the brain says, danger, I'm out of here. That's the good news. The bad news is when we're in fight or flight, everything around us feels like a threat on us. Now, how does fight or flight tie into this? When we begin to get stressed, we begin to move out of the logical part of our brain, and we begin to move into the lizard part of our brain, where we're more equipped to fight our way out of a life or death situation, but we don't have the equipment we need to have a rational conversation. If you understand what stresses your coworkers, we can't always avoid those things, but if you understand that certain things immediately stress them, I'm not saying that you handle them with kid gloves, but if you understand their stressors and deal with those stressors and are careful not to trigger those stressors, then you can have a much more productive conversation, and the workplace is a lot better place to be.